second it.
Can I make a comment before we go? Well, thank you very much, Councilwoman Kimberly Ho and Councilman Manzo, to bring this forward. This is exactly what I wanted as soon as I got elected. I said before, and I can say it again, policies are our friends at the city as a government entity. Policy protects us. Policy set the boundaries. Policy is just like, holy land. Okay, you do everything within policy. You stand on that magic carpet, that holy area where the laws protect us. When you do something out of policy, you are in a no man or no woman position. No one gonna go out and bat for you and rescue you. So that's why policy is always good. Thank you for doing this. This is exactly what we need. This is exactly what the city need. This is exactly what the city staff need. This is not a blame games, okay? Even though that we never have such policy in the book, but we still have to operate on this wavelength and on this, because these are state laws. Okay, this is not something new, but for whatever reason, we the city of Westminster is still back in the Stone Age. We don't have anything written down to protect anybody. So this is nothing new. And because of this, and the mayor, Trí Tạ, and Councilman Charlie Nguyen, picked this up and said, celebrate this as an achievement for our city. You could take one pixel, just one little clause, one sentence in the back. Just say, let me read that so that everybody can understand. Where is that? Just one little clause that 2C, mayor and city council office shall be kept separate from city hall. Okay? And this become an addiction, Councilman Nguyen and Mayor Trí Tạ drum it up and go and jump on the Vietnamese media. I remember VNA, right? VNA broadcast your pay program, and you was like crying, almost to the point of crying, saying that my office is the first time ever happened in the history of this great country that I got kicked out of my office. Please help me. You call the people to overthrow the city council, do a resolution. It's really theatrical. I mean, it's just like, I guarantee you're not going to make you're not no A-list thespian, that's for sure. But it was very dramatic, and it's create such a turmoil in our community, in the Vietnamese American community. I like that word, incite. I really like that word. That's exactly what it means. You incite, like almost a riot, almost a coup. Calling people to overthrow this city council. And what bothered me is you have no shame of doing it. You and Councilman Nguyen, you have no shame of doing it. You're going out there and listen to all the elderly Vietnamese, very respectable people, and they were so angry. They were so angry. They were so passionate. They were yelling and screaming and calling names of the city council member. There was so much hatred because you know what? They trust you.
Accusation.
They trust you. You are their beloved elected official. But I don't blame them. This is devastating our community right now. I apologize to the resident of the city of Westminster. We cannot do anything because this is what we have to deal with. Okay, it's good that you don't speak in Vietnamese. Okay, but it's become a responsibility when you understand the Vietnamese language and when you pay attention to all the turmoil. I mean, it's just like a dark web. If you understand what that expressions, this is exactly what the dark web is. It's go there unnoticed. Nobody knows what's going on unless you are in it. It's terrible for our community. It's destroy the bond, the cooperation, the respect of different ethnic groups in our community. This is very bad.
I'm sorry if I'd like to know, is the police chief here? I'd like to ask him a question.
So you know what? So that is a reason why we need to just, I'm asking you, Mayor Trí Tạ, Councilman Trí Tạ, please stop this madness. Okay? Yes, this is in policy. Why don't you use your ability, your leadership, and negotiate and talk to the city council? Okay? Because no one on this council ever proposed an agenda item to say, hey, let's enforce this policy. Have we ever had that city clerk or interim city manager? Have we ever proposed anything like that?
Like this?
I'm sorry?
Like this?
Yes.
Policy?
To move the mayor's office?
The language is there.
Is that a no?
So as far as a policy to move the office?
No. As far as the council, has anyone ever proposed an agenda item to get the mayor's office out of City Hall per policy?
Not what you discussed in the
last
meeting.
Listen. Let's this interim city. Has we, the elected official, ever asked you propose any agenda item to move the mayor's office? Yes or no?
Not a specific item, no.
No, okay, good, thank you. Okay, so this is what we're talking about, leadership. Okay, whatever, in a policy, and it happened. Why don't you do that instead of going out in the public and drumming up all these incite such a riot? And it has to stop. So please stop doing this so that we can focus. This is not a game. You think it's a game? It's not. Thank you.
May I ask the police chief a question, please? Hello, our police chief. I want to really say hello to you because this is the first time we talked since you've been on board. And welcome to Westminster, by the way. My question to you is, when someone incite a riot or incite chaos, is that a misdemeanor? Is that a crime?
It is a misdemeanor.
A general question.
Yes, it is.
That's what I thought, because I know how they're, just to incite, right? And just by inciting, by using words to incite. Is that correct?
Yes, it is.
Whatever means, whatever way to incite a riot, possible riot.
Sound like 415.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
It sounds like Penal Code Section 415.
Thank you. Okay, so I feel that we do need to move forward and do good work for our city, but in order for us to move forward, we've got to stop telling lies, making up lies. And really, if you go on some of these YouTube videos that the mayor and G. Charlie are doing, I can tell you that really these folks are so mad, so upset by the words that you use to describe. If we talk about the seat or the mayor's office, you choose to use or describe what we propose. We didn't say we're going to throw you out. We didn't say you're going to be homeless. But when you use things like that to describe what we're trying to do, we're really trying to do good things here. We're trying to prevent possible lawsuits, and you know, as you know, we've had you know, so many for I say in the last 10 years since you've been a mayor, you know, we've had a lot of lawsuits, and so I think it should be a collaborative effort, everyone's effort, not just my own, not just, you know, and it's not going to end here. This effort's going to have to continue on with the next people who come on the council. So we're going to continue to try to do that, so that it needs to start with us, you know, individually. So we need a second for this item.
We have a second. Let me just point out that there were.
No, I like to respond first. I like to respond because, you know, they already talked and I didn't even, you know, speak about this item. Councilmember Doe and Councilmember Ho, you are acting too much. And it's really funny to me, Councilmember Doe, you try to give me a lecture, like a model lecture from you with all the behavior you have for the last 3 years on the city council. You try to act up the policy you passed, and you couldn't even prove what did they do wrong for the last 9 years. When I was in my office at the city hall, you couldn't come up with any evidence. What did they do wrong? You said about a lot of lawsuits. What did they do wrong with all the lawsuits? You couldn't even prove anything. All you want to do, you try to kick me out of my office at the city hall, and you couldn't come up with any plan, with any solution. It's really funny. You are elected official, elected by the people of the city, and you said something really irresponsibility. Okay, I don't use my office, so the mayor more welcome to move in my office. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it when I could hear something like that in a meeting. You are aware that I'm more busy than all the council members, because it's not because of me, but because the nature of the job. I sign more paper. And then you try to move my office. You try to separate, you use the word separate office from the city hall. And you try to act up, oh, this is a good policy. I mean, like staff, they want to see me after every meeting. They need me to sign a lot of paper. And you try to separate my office. You already voted to separate my office from the city hall. That's not realistic. That's not a good policy. So don't try to act up. Don't try to give me any moral lecture. You're not a moral person. Don't try to act it up. All right?
Can I say something real quick, Mayor? Thank you.
I'd like to respond too. So
Oh,
when you...
okay, can I say something first? Mayor, by the things that you just said, it's clear you still don't understand the whole point of this policy, and you still don't understand that many other cities have this. Nobody ever said that you did something. If you really want to understand, you need to read it and then look at other cities' policies and understand the whole reason behind it, to prevent influence. You know, please do some reading on it. And as we explained before, other cities, the way that their buildings are set in a manner where there's different wings of the building, where it's possible that this council and the mayor's office can be in a different part of the building. That would be a way to separate, to keep it apart. But the way our current situation is with the city hall building and the council chamber building, we don't have extra wings. Our building, the city hall building, is small. Nobody accused you of anything, and you still don't understand the whole point of this policy. That it's to prevent that just the presence of the presence of an elected official, of staff, changes the way it's possible to change the way that staff goes about doing their work. You don't have to do it. You don't even have to say anything. You can just your presence, just being there. Any of us, it can change that. If you don't believe me, next time if you're in there and there's a staff meeting or staff members talking, just walk up and you'll see that it's just any of us. Not that any of us are doing something purposely. It's just the nature of the way it is. And by doing a policy like this is going to help our staff to be able to really produce and do positive things for our community. It's a plus. It has nothing to do. Nobody accused you of anything. Can you try to understand that part of it?
I'd like to remind the council right now is over midnight. So do we need a motion to continue?
We need to finish.
Yeah, sure. Let me respond to Mayor Trí Tạ real quick.
No, but do we need? City Attorney, do we need to have a motion to continue, or we don't have to? Okay, so as a pleasure of the council.
Yeah, it's technically not into.
Yeah,
Yeah.
You know, just real quick. You know, I appreciate Council Manzo's statement. But I don't think that Mayor Trí Tạ is not capable of understanding what's going on. You know, he's a very intelligent person. You know, he's been elected since 2006. So it's been, as elected official for a long time, and you're not intelligent. You're not going to be able to stay in that seat for so long. So, for asking him to understand something, it's just it's an overstatement. I understand it well. But my question to you is, Mayor Trí Tạ, do you have an office in City Hall right now?
You already vote. You already decide that my office is separate from the City Hall, and I don't have any other office. So my answer to you that my stuff is still there. But do I go to my office? No.
So how do you handle, sign all the check and stuff?
I go to the City Hall. And then the secretary, council secretary, they give me all the paperwork, so I have to sign.
And you don't go to your office at all?
Because the council already vote.
Is that a yes? Is that a no? You don't go to your office at all? You don't open
but my stuff's still there.
You don't sit down at your desk?
But my office is the office that if any resident, I hope you understand, if any resident, they want to meet with me, they are allowed to meet with me in my office at the City Hall. Is that making sense?
And who gonna stop you from doing that? Meeting.
But how come you guys vote in a policy? How? Okay. Why?
Let me ask you that. Who would stop you from meeting a constituent in your City Hall's office?
But why did you contradict yourself? Why did you put in a policy that the mayor and the council office shall be kept separately from the City Hall? That's in the policy. I have to respect the policy anyway.
Okay, so you respect the policy, so you volunteer not using the office. Is that a fair statement?
I really want to use my office, but I mean, like, how? Because you guys voted.
Okay, so if you use the office, is there somebody gonna go and arrest you? Somebody gonna stop you?
I mean, like,
I could ask Christine Corden, the interim city manager. Could you clarify? Does the mayor need to leave his office now? Ever since we passed that resolution, or for him?
His office still there?
His office. I mean, are you expecting him to leave now? So maybe we want to clarify for Mayor to know whether he could still use his office, and roughly how long do you think he would be moved to the other building?
So after you're all done with discussion, yeah, that was going to be the next point of clarification. So it's clear in the policy that, you know, and it's not reflected correctly in this, that the council chamber, or that the mayor's office was to be moved into the council chambers. That was actually adopted in the original resolution. So that being said, staff is requesting the council to determine what that would look like in the council chambers. I know a couple of you offered to give up your offices for the mayor, but at the same time, you know, there wasn't a real clear direction which one it would be, etc. So at this time, the mayor's stuff is still in that particular office, but he has not come in to sit in the office, you know, like he did before. He would come in.
But the thing is that by choice, or did you tell him not to come in, not to sit in his office?
Because of the vote.
That is by choice.
Because we
when you
passed.
vote here,
Please
when you vote,
That
it
is-
doesn't mean that's going
Allowed
to
to
take effect.
respond. It's not by
There
my
has to
choice,
be-
but I
that's
respect
by
the policy.
Okay.
It's not
No,
by my
the
choice,
policy-
but I have to
the
respect the
policy
policy
isn't,
anyway.
you know, even if you go through an ordinance, you like say
Councilman
you approve
Ho,
the
please.
ordinance, you
Councilman
still have to.
Ho, could you let the interim city manager respond to your question, please?
Go ahead, please.
I didn't direct the mayor either way because we had no alternative for him in the chambers at the time.
Do you have the authority to order him not to go into his office?
No, it's a public building and he's still currently the mayor at the moment.
Okay.
So
When
the
did-
point
when
is
did-
that he basically, you know, Mayor, you've been on as a council person and a mayor for 17 years. And you know that every time you pass an ordinance, you know that's going to take time. And especially when staff has to arrange and, you know, an office for you. And then, you know, the ordinance need time to take effect also. So I don't understand if you exaggerate and you choose to not to come in, that would be on you, not on us. So please don't twist our words and don't incite the
For
public.
dramatic
That's
effect.
all I'm asking is
For
that you don't
dramatic effect.
incite the public and you
Well,
you dramatize everything.
You guys voted.
Okay, can we call the question?
law-
Because we
can-
already have a second.
No, I have. I
Can
have
we
not-
ask the city attorney, please tell everybody in clear sentences how this works. You have you have a first reading, a second reading. How does it work? Does he have to leave his office like a month ago, or does he have to, how long does it take for this ordinance to take effect?
Okay, there was a resolution passed in October. Okay, and then subsequent to that resolution, there was a decision made to pass an ordinance, which has not been approved yet. This is the first reading of that ordinance tonight. But we do have a resolution. As to when that goes into effect and how it goes into effect, that's for the council to decide.
Yeah.
So far, there's been no discussion as to when and how. But there was a policy adopted saying that in general, mayor and city council office shall be kept separate from city hall and shall be located in the council chambers. So that was in the resolution.
So, but there's the first reading and the second reading.
And then 30 days to go into
And
effect.
30 days
and then-
after that.
Yes.
But it was in the resolution.
30 days after the second reading.
Right. And
Well, how many years have you been elected official, Mayor Trí Tạ? Okay, don't answer that question. Okay, I don't want to. But
I'm new to this.
what
and I
you to
figured
go out there and drum up incite the public to be angry at city council for the political strategy is not acceptable. Okay, so it's very clear right now.
You know, if
Do volunteer. Just a second, sir. Let me finish. It's very clear in this meeting that you volunteer not going to your office. Okay, if you say that a form of protesting, okay, I get it. No problem. But saying that because of the city council decision that kicked you out of your own office is a lie. Nobody has authority to kick you out of that office. Okay, so it's not too late. Just right now, you just come out, come clean, and say, you know what, I make it up to protest or whatever. Then Yeah, we can understand. Otherwise, we're going to talk about this in the very near future, because this is not acceptable. This is from you are an elected official. People trust you. Your words mean something, okay? And for you blatantly lies about the city policy, and the thing is really killed me is to the poor, law-abiding Vietnamese American, the elderly who do not speak English, and use the Vietnamese language to lie to them. And there's so many people so angry about this. I'm glad that we clarified this. I'm so sorry, city interim city manager, that we have to put you on the spot to clarify this, because otherwise, the public still think that the council evict Mayor Trí Tạ out of his own office. Right now, he has no office to work with. Thank you very much.
So
So I'd
before,
like to-
but before anyone, I'm sorry,
I
before,
want to speak. I want to make my point here. You guys don't get it. You're a council member. When you approve a proposed policy, that become a policy. You approve a resolution. My office must be separate from the city hall. And then you try to say that, okay, your office is still in the city hall. We don't have any action to remove your office from the city hall. You are lying. Come on. We need to understand we are elected. When you vote,
Wow.
that
You really
means that
say-
you separate. No. That
You
means you
really
separate my office from the city hall.
Ordinances work.
no, so,
Please
okay,
say that.
let me just before we get into any discussion about this whole ordinance resolution, because I think we've spent a considerable amount of time about logistics here. So a resolution was adopted. The resolution does take effect immediately. That is correct. The direction to make it an ordinance now becomes a law, so that enforcement becomes a lot more strict. And of course, city attorney can interject if you're wrong. By adopting this policy altogether, it does move the mayor's office to the council chambers, regardless of who the mayor is, but it does move to the council chambers. Staff is really at this point just interested in knowing where you want to put them. We have Jake on the line right now that could talk about construction costs. I could talk about a couple of ideas that we have to logistically do that, but we are just getting off track on the focus, which is if you're gonna, adopt this ordinance and it is going to be to move the office, let's just talk about logistically where that is.
Waiting for the council direction.
Before we move into that phase of where to move him and how to move him and all that, could we make it really clear that he could stay in his office
Wait.
until all this,
Wait just a second.
until
Give me
we have it, his office
Just a
ready?
woman, please. Just a second. Okay. The city manager is going to be the one who implement all this stuff, and she cannot do it without the direction from the city council. Okay? No, none of individual elected official can order her to do anything.
Right.
They only take order from the body, the majority of the city council, and we haven't talked about that. We
That's
never
the problem.
put that up, and it's not a priority.
That's the problem.
Okay, we don't have to enforce that. Okay,
Okay.
until the decision is made by this body, government body of the city council, the city manager will not do anything. Am I correct? Well, thank you very much.
Yes,
Okay,
I would
Mr.
suggest
Mayor,
that you,
Mr. Mayor,
Vice
I
Mayor.
would suggest
not-
you make a motion to.
No. I want the vice mayor to speak because
I
he's been
have
waiting.
not speak about this item, so it's my turn to speak now. I have request. Okay, that's, I appreciate that the interim city manager clarified that when the resolution passed, it take effect right away. That's clear. And then let me go back and trying to go back with the point that the council member Doe said. Do you remember that you said that my office is available? Same thing for council member Menzo said that my office is available. If you don't think that he need to move out of that, then why you offer your office? And you think that he is going to take your office for that? The answer is no. The thing is when you voted and passed the resolution, what you need to do right away is to give the direction to the staff of where his office is going to be. You failed to do that until now. Until now, staff have to ask you for the direction. That's the problem right there. Don't you see that? So let me tell you this. You ask us, the mayor, wait, let me finish. You ask the mayor and me to respect and you know, let me tell you, and do not lie about, you know, what happening. I am saying to you that I did not lie. And I am very proud to say that everything I say here, again, in this chamber or out in the community is the truth. And I stand by everything that I said. Okay? You shouldn't open your mouth and saying that you have the office and you are going to give up your office. At the same time, you did not give the direction to staff of what they have to do. And so, you know, when the resolution, when you voted and the resolution passed and it take effective, do you think that he is going in there and sit in the office until you said that out? Or somebody said you are no longer allowed to be here? Do you think that the mayor
wait.
to take that?
Who can tell him to get out? Nobody.
Wow.
The city manager can implement the policy when she got the order from the majority of the city council. There's no individual elected official on this council can order the city manager to do anything.
Dude,
Okay?
you still don't understand when the vote voted already, the resolution take effect. Did you hear that from the interim city manager?
We did not discuss the detail. Okay? You know what? Please, Councilman Nguyen, please.
Can we move forward?
Stop all this drama.
Move forward as far as the location. I think at the city chamber situation with the 4 offices there, I think the most northern office has the most privacy as far as people walking by it. You know, there's a council, there's a conference room, there's the door that exits to the south. I think the one to the most northern office has the most privacy, is the quietest. So I suggest, I recommend that would be the office of the mayor, any mayor, not just this mayor, and that we have some sort of common area. One of the other rooms can be a common area for all council and the mayor to have mail room, any other copiers, any other kind of equipment, an opportunity for photos if a constituent wants a photo, or some sort of maybe a conference table there or something. And then the other 2 rooms can be shared on an appointment basis or something by the remainder of the council, where there's no construction needed. It doesn't need to have any sort of construction. That was my recommendation, where I think that would be the best, and really have all of council really have all the operations in the council chamber. So that's my recommendation.
So I think the 2 rooms, he could take 2 rooms so he doesn't lose real estate, and he could connect the 2 rooms with like an opening, and that way he could use 1 room, as you said, turn that into a meeting room, and if he has guests or so it could be 1 room would be for his office, his desk. So I think he would have plenty of room if he takes 2 rooms and connect the 2 and make it 1 big one. And the other 2, I agree that we could all share. And I, like, as we said, and I believe in the media, you really created a lot of you know, we share the room. It doesn't mean that we're going to be sitting next to each other or on top of each other. So please stop saying things like that, you know, to insinuate that there's that. I'm not going to go and repeat it, but you know, sharing a room does not mean that we're going to be in there at the same time. So I think it would be, you know, if any council person want to use the room, they could either, you know, first come, first serve. So if they're there that day and that room's occupied, then we use the other, but less likely we will be there at the same time. Just from looking at
because you know, right now this point,
can I just say something quickly?
We have a need
because this isn't really agendized. This whole discussion about what to do, about where to place the mayor, it is impacted by what's being adopted. So I think to some degree, what we should focus on is adopting or not adopting this policy, and then maybe make a short-term fix or something. Say until we can talk about this and study it, because Jake's going to have to come across to for what Councilmember Ho just suggested. I would suggest that you choose to adopt the policy or not, and then say, starting, you know, when on a temporary basis, this will be the office until we figure out what else to do. Something like that.
Yes, I don't know if I moved to approve 6.2.
Yeah, we did move.
We did.
Yeah, we have already seconded 6.1.
Yeah, you did. But I wanted to know what, because in the original resolution, it is true, and Terry Raines did point out, and this should reflect that on the second whereas, instead of October 13th, it should be October 27th. And in the original resolution under this policy 2C,